The South African Independent Power Producers Association has welcomed the announcement today by the Presidency on energy reforms. SAIPPA says that it has been proposing changes to Schedule 2 for the past 4 years. Well, to discuss this issue a little further, we're now joined by the chairperson of SAIPPA, Garner. Thanks very much indeed for joining us and welcome to the programme.
Thank you so much.
You must be elated.
Yeah, I mean, it is really good news. I think it is excellent leadership shown by President Ramaphosa. And it is opportune. I mean, we're struggling with load shedding. Eskom is struggling to maintain its old plant. And we're bleeding jobs, 74% youth unemployment. People are going hungry, and we cannot actually grow the economy without energy. So this is absolutely amazing news for us.
All right, break it down for us what it actually means. Before, companies could produce 1 megawatt. When compared to 100, it sounds minuscule. And so this is a huge jump. But what does it mean practically?
So practically, it means that the previously, if you wanted to self-generate or embedded generation up to 1 megawatt, you didn't have to apply for a license. You could only go through a registration process. And the difference between the two processes aren't that big. In the registration process, you don't go through a public participation process, and in the licensing process, you do. The challenge, however, was that in terms of Section 34 of the Electricity Regulation Act, the minister may determine the amount of power that could be procured. You could determine the procurer, and he could also determine what type of power it was to be procured. And if you weren't part of that determination, you cannot apply for a license. So this Schedule 2 exemption actually then allows you not to apply for a license. And now it's up to 100 megawatt that you don't have to apply for a license. So you do not need a deviation from the minister or a determination. You can only apply for a license. So it really takes a lot of red tape out of the way, and it ensures that there's much more certainty in investment in plants up to 100 megawatt.
All right. So what does this mean again? Is it that I can go and create some kind of energy source for myself? It's not for resale?
It is not clear yet. We will have to wait for the amendment to be gazetted, the Schedule 2 amendment, within the next 60 days. However, I'm positive that it will include that you can sell as an energy producer to more than one off-taker, as well as to a trader who can then sell to more than one off-taker. However, if you sell to a trader, I think you will still have to be licensed. I do, however, think that this is a step in the right direction, and that it is that proverbial breaking of the dam wall, and this will liberate the market in the next few years.
All right, I'm still trying to understand what 100 megawatts actually looks like, feels like, and compared to 1 megawatt. So, give us. I don't know if you can paint a picture of what 100 megawatts means.
Okay, let's look at solar just for a start. Solar plant, you typically can build a 1 megawatt solar plant on more or less 1 hectare of land, and therefore 100 megawatt solar on 100 hectares of land. So that just gives you an idea. If you go to a wind plant, typically these wind turbines these days are like, let's say, 5 megawatts per turbine. So for a 100 megawatt wind farm, you would need 20 turbines, and you would probably need 300 to 500 hectares of land for that.
And how many houses maybe could 100 megawatts light up?
I would say around 100 to 120,000 homes.
Wow! So this is major, isn't it? And that's 100 megawatts per supplier. So we could have infinite access or supply actually coming online.
Yes, what we've seen, Peter, is that we've done a survey in the last while we were busy with the public participation around Schedule 2. And 100 megawatt projects that's within or smaller than 100 megawatt. There were 16 projects that's ready to go.
Wow.
For construction. We had 617 megawatts. However, if you go more than 100 megawatts, there's another lot of projects that could supply another 18,000 megawatts. So there's a lot of pent-up supply, projects that are either shovel-ready or close to shovel-ready, and this will be absolutely a good thing for the industry if we can move forward and support the country in this difficult time.
And I suppose the beauty about this as well is that new energy, clean energy, really will get some, breathing space and ability to join the party.
Absolutely. I think after the successful first 4 rounds of the REAP program, a world-class renewable energy program which established renewable energy in South Africa, it is now the time to open it up a bit and to ensure that the private sector can come in and build power generation plants in a responsible way, in a way where we ensure that there's a just transition and where we will create new jobs in cases where fossil fuel workers will start losing jobs, and in cases where communities are marginalized, where those communities can be uplifted. And that's absolutely important for us, that this transition must be just and it must be to the advantage of everyone in South Africa.
Long term, what does it mean for consumers? Less power outages, hopefully they'll disappear. But will energy costs come down?
I do believe it will, Peter. I think in the next 6 months, I don't see an immediate impact on load shedding. In the 1 year window, I would say there would be a positive impact. And then in terms of cost-reflecting tariffs, I do think while a new renewable plant will come in and old coal plant will be decommissioned because they are old and because they are not useful anymore, I think we'll see an energy price that at least stabilizes, if not in real terms or in nominal terms, decreasing over time.
Why do you think it's taken so long? One gets a sense that if they had signed this off 4 years ago, we wouldn't be having these blackouts now.
Yeah, Peter, it's it's an example of how not to do things, what has happened in the last 10, 15 years in South Africa around energy. A lot of good things happened, but I think state capital played a massive role. Corruption played a massive role. The capture of state-owned entities didn't help. And it really came to a grinding halt in 2015 when Mr. Brian Molefe of Eskom and Mr. Koko of Eskom at that stage said they don't want to sign any further power purchase agreements. At the same time, Mr. Zuma, at that stage president, was very clear that there will never be load shedding again. He said it from a podium at Eskom. And it's all about the different constituents, and it's all about who's in power. So I think the only thing we can do is to move along and to learn lessons from the past, but to really move fast to create a better South Africa for all.
All right, Tommy Garner, thank you so much indeed for joining us and giving us some insights on what this new amendment will do. And certainly as a consumer, I look forward to nights with the lights on. Thanks so much.
Take care. Thanks, Peter.
Great. That's Tommy Garner, who's the chairperson of the South African Independent Producers Association, telling us what this amendment to Schedule 2 will mean in terms of us, you and I, ultimately. And it looks like it's going to be pretty good news, but it may take a little bit of time. So I'm afraid we're going to have to be patient in the meantime. All right.